Let's quickly get in our panel of guests, and thank you also to both of them for their patience. JVC Sriram, who continues to stay with us, Tom Varakan, the national spokesperson of the BJP. Good afternoon, and thank you for your time, both of you gentlemen. And JVC, before I come to you, Tom, so the poll bugle has been announced. This is going to be a long election, 7-phase, like it was the last time around. The BJP is super confident. You continue to say, "Ab ki baar 400 par."
I take this opportunity to congratulate the Election Commission on doing this great activity, which I think is really the democracy, what democracy is all about. I think the kind of precautions that have been taken, the announcements that have made to control money power, muscle power, social media, I think they're extraordinary. And in terms of the checking of helicopters, landing strips, and the checking that would take place, at least it will take care of money passing from different states. And I think there's extraordinary steps have been taken. I congratulate the Chief Election Commissioner and his team for bringing forward this kind of activity. We have about 55 lakh EVMs that are going to be operative, 10.5 crore polling stations.
Yes.
97 crore registered voters. I think this is something that you can put two continents together and still have this kind of numbers. And I think it's an excellent activity, and this also will ensure control of muscle power, bloodbath, and all that, and fake news. I think it is extraordinary, and I congratulate the team once again, and we welcome the dates.
Yes, and like they always say, Tom, may the best team win. I also want to get in JVC and also take this moment to introduce both our colleagues, Pragya and Rishabh, also joining us. And before I go to them, JVC, so the 2024 fight now has a calendar. And like we say, the teams are battle ready, but who looks better prepared right now? You know, the team I.N.D.I.A, JVC, has a narrative. But what about the I.N.D.I.A alliance? And like, we've been saying here on Times Now, is this actually a Modi referendum election, JVC?
Good evening to your viewers. What I would like to say is it looks like a long-drawn process. It's a festival of democracy, but I think certain gaps between the phase 2 and the phase 3, it looks to be a very big gap. Not sure why such a big, long gap has been given. Probably we thought that the elections would be over before June 1st, but I think the results are going to be only by June 4th. As of date, I.N.D.I.A, led by Mr. Modi, is at a pole position, is at an advantage. But we know for sure that a week is too long a time in politics. I think this long-drawn schedule gives the last-minute hope for the I.N.D.I. bloc to revive itself if possible. Because there is ample time now. Because till now, they've been disintegrated completely. If you look at Bengal, in Bengal, Mamata has put all the candidates in all the constituencies. Looks like Bihar, they're yet to seal an alliance. And even in Maharashtra, the seat sharing is not going in the right direction. So all this points to that I.N.D.I.A alliance is in disarray. But what has happened is, one more month to go before the first vote is casted, and almost more than 45 days to go for the results. So we need to wait and watch. Today, advantage I.N.D.I.A, but my only worry or concern is probably as the BJP peaked too early. Because January 22nd, when the Ram Mandir inauguration happened, Prana Pratishta happened, and from there, to sustain this momentum, I think Mr. Modi is the only person who can carry and sustain this momentum. If not, I would be a little concerned about the kind of this long-drawn schedule, and how they will continue to peak is what the big question is going to be.
All right, interesting. the entire take that you do take. We also have Tehseen, who's joining us here in our studios. And I also do see Pragya, and we'll also have Rishabh with us back here. But before I get to them, Tehseen, your first thoughts on, the entire poll dates. You're looking at West Bengal elections that's still going to be in 7 phases, something that Mamata Banerjee really was, crying foul about. If you allow me for a moment, because I'm told that a team of reporters is ready with us. Pragya, first to you. Interesting is how the entire story is panning out. It's also about the fight has a calendar, but how ready are all sides, Pragya? That has to be the very first question that has to be asked.
Well, I believe the BJP also believes that they are very poll ready. They have already had 2 rounds of Lok Sabha surveys on all the seats that they have not won, that they are weak on. So they have also worked on the seats that they have never worked on, or they have lost to opposition parties. Not just on the seats that they are very strong. There are categorization of seats for BJP, A, B, C, D, E, and also they have worked on each of them. And remember, every opposition party said that BJP is very weak in Southern India, and this is exactly why we are seeing Prime Minister taking tours of Southern India. And not just that, Prime Minister has asked the union ministers to focus Viksit Bharat programs in Southern India. And this is exactly what we are watching right now. Prime Minister is in 2 southern states today, and he is also targeting the bastions of Congress leaders. In Kalburgi, for example, Mr. Mallikarjun.
If you give me a moment, we are in fact joined with our colleague Adib, who's also joined with Ajay Rai of the Congress. Let's quickly take it across to him, Pragya, then I'll come back to you. Adib?
Well, definitely we are right now with Congress President, Uttar Pradesh Congress President Ajay Rai, and he's with us. Ajay जी, चुनाव की घोषणा हो चुकी है, 7 चरणों में चुनाव होगा, 4 जून को नतीजे आएंगे. किस तरह से इस चुनाव को देखते हैं?
निश्चित तौर से हम सब लोग इंतजार कर रहे थे तारीखों का, और तारीखें घोषित हो गई. निश्चित तौर से मजबूती के साथ इंडिया गठबंधन लड़ेगा और चुनाव जीतेगा, क्योंकि आम आदमी जो सरकार चल रही है एनडीए की, भाजपा की, महंगाई, बेरोजगारी, भ्रष्टाचार चरम पर है. आप उठाकर देखिए, पूरी सारी चीजों को ध्वस्त कर दिया. महंगाई, अब इनको महंगाई दिखने लगी. अब इन्होंने चुनाव आचार संहिता आज से लगी है, 2 दिन पहले इन्होंने डीजल और पेट्रोल के दाम कम किए. अब इनको 5 साल में महंगाई दिखने लगी, गैस का दाम कम किए. आम जनता जान रही है कि वोट लेने के लिए कि उन्होंने दाम कम किया है, और जनता को बेवकूफ बनाने के लिए.
यूपी एक महत्वपूर्ण स्टेट है, सबसे बड़ा स्टेट है, लोकसभा की 80 सीटें आती हैं, प्रधानमंत्री की भी सीट यहीं से वाराणसी है. अब बीजेपी के पास है अयोध्या, राम मंदिर का भी है, डबल इंजन की सरकार है. किस तरह से बीजेपी को कांग्रेस और सपा मिलकर टैकल करेगी?
देखिए, ऐसा है, जो भी इश्यूज हैं, पब्लिक के इश्यूज जितने भी हैं, उसमें ये फेल है. और धर्म की आड़ में जो ये राजनीति कर रहे हैं, वो भी फेल है इनकी, क्योंकि ये आस्था का केंद्र है. भगवान राम हमारे आस्था के केंद्र है. हमारी आस्था है वहाँ, हम आस्था से जुड़ते हैं. उसको अगर राजनीति आप कर दें, जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने जो राम मंदिर का जो एक राजनीति किया है, मैं समझता हूँ उसमें पूरी तरीके से भारतीय जनता पार्टी फेल हो चुकी है, और फेल लगातार हो रही है, पूरी तरीके से पिटती जा रही है. और आम आदमी के जो इश्यूज हैं, आपने बच्चों की, अभी यूपी के अंदर आपने 60,000 नियुक्ति निकाली सिपाही की, 50 लाख लोगों ने नियुक्ति उसमें पत्र भर, उसमें जो उन्होंने एग्जाम्स दिए, और वो लीक कर गया. 50 लाख लोगों ने, बेरोजगारी चरम पर है. तो ये सारी चीजें आम जनता के बीच में है. आम जनता इससे पूरी तरीके से परेशान है, नौजवान परेशान है. महिलाओं के साथ अत्याचार, अन्याय रोज हो रहा है, हत्याएं हो रही हैं, रोज चीजें हो. सबसे बड़ा जो आज स्थिति सामने आ रही है, वो है महंगाई, बेरोजगारी, भ्रष्टाचार चरम पर है. और राम मंदिर का इशू, वो जो मंदिर बना, वो माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के आदेश से बना है. वो किसी, हमारी सरकार हो, कोई सरकार हो, माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के आदेश उसको मानना पड़ता है, वो बनवाएंगे.
क्या ये मुद्दे रहेंगे चुनाव में? महंगाई मुद्दा रहने वाली है या क्राइम मुद्दा? क्योंकि बीजेपी का कहना है.
Okay, Adib, just allow me a moment. I'm told we also have a string of other reporters joining us. They all have guests. I want to take a moment to get all of them quickly here. Yavar is joining us. He has Imran Nabidar of the National Conference with us, and also do see Pradeep there joining us. He has Kavinder Gupta, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Pradeep, to you in just a moment. But Yavar first. You know, Jammu and Kashmir elections for the moment have not been announced, but there even the I.N.D.I. alliance has a huge problem.
Well, exactly. There has been a long pending demands of the conduct of assembly elections in the Jammu and Kashmir. It's been a decade since the J&K had its last election in the 2014, and there has been the expectations that there could be the announcement with regard to the assembly polls with the simultaneous elections that's been conducted across the country. We are joining by the National Conference spokesperson Imran Nabi. We will have a word with him. Sir, appreciate your joining to Times Now. First of all, no mention of the assembly elections in the Lok Sabha polls. How do you see this?
See, first of all, I and our party, we were not expecting anything from ECI, because considering how they have been talking to political parties, their visit to J&K also has been not satisfactory. So, but today we were hoping against hope, but all our hopes have been dashed. No assembly elections have been announced in Jammu and Kashmir. It is very unfortunate, and this is something which will create a lot of questions for the government to answer, which I'm sure they will never answer, because the way they have been operating for the past 10 years clearly shows that they don't respect the sentiments of people on ground.
So if we talk about the Lok Sabha polls, now it has been announced and Jammu and Kashmir is going for the 5 scheduled dates from the Baramulla to the south to the Srinagar and to in the Jammu. So how do you see this? How are the preparations that are going on with regard to the general elections?
See, as far as preparations are concerned, government of the day will have to ensure that all security arrangements are in place. The point I was trying to make earlier also was that if this is not an opportune time for conducting assembly election, then please tell me when can we have an assembly election in Jammu and Kashmir. Right now, you have everything in place, security paraphernalia, all the bandobast that elections needed to have. It is already there. So what stopped government and the election commission to announce assembly elections is something I fail to understand. I mean, this is something that they have been saying all along, that security situation is getting better and better with each passing day. It is the government of the day which is claiming that security situation is getting better. If this was not an opportune time to have an assembly election, then only God knows when we can have an assembly election.
I appreciate your joining. So we had a word with the National Conference spokesperson. In fact, it's seemingly that the National Conference is somewhere disappointed because no mention of the J&K assembly election was on the cards.
Yeah, but thank you to you, also to Imran Nabi Dar of the National Conference, the first response from the party there. And staying with Jammu and Kashmir, before I also get in Varshini into this conversation, Pradeep, you joined with Kavinder Gupta, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. Now the NC is saying, why can't there be polls? It's a Naya Kashmir, everything is good, everything is under control, so why could we have not had simultaneous polls in Jammu and Kashmir?
Obviously, this reaction was expected from the National Conference opposition party leader. For the last several days, they had been demanding the early restoration of the democratic process here in Jammu and Kashmir, because they want that there should have been assembly polls also conducted. Right now, I'm joined by the Deputy Chief Minister. National Conference की एक बार फिर से ये कहना है कि अगर यहाँ पे स्थिति नॉर्मल हुई है, तो फिर असेंबली चुनाव क्यों नहीं?
देखिए, असेंबली इलेक्शन से किसी ने इनकार नहीं किया है. उसका जिक्र इलेक्शन कमीशन ने कहा है कि आज ये ड्यू हैं. तो समय और स्थिति को देखते हुए तो स्वाभाविक बात है कि जिस प्रकार से माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट का भी आदेश है और प्रधानमंत्री जी भी ये कह चुके हैं कि लोकतांत्रिक प्रक्रिया जल्दी जम्मू कश्मीर में लागू होगी, तो उम्मीद करनी चाहिए कि सितंबर से पहले और सरकार बनने के बाद इलेक्शन यहाँ पर विधानसभा के भी होंगे.
क्योंकि आप एक तो है आपकी तैयारी कैसी है, और इस बार लगता है कि कमल खिल पाएगा कश्मीर में, क्योंकि 370 हटा दिया हमने, क्योंकि बहुत सारी चीजें जो वादे आपने किए थे वो पूरे किए हैं. आपको लगता है कि इस बार आपको इसका एडवांटेज मिलेगा? बिल्कुल, हमने काम किया है और विशेष करके लोगों के हितों के लिए काम किया है. वेस्ट पाकिस्तान रिफ्यूजीज हो, वाल्मीकि समाज हो, गोरखा समाज हो, गुज्जर बकरवाल हो, एसटी हो, ओबीसीज हो, सभी के लिए केंद्र सरकार और यहाँ की स्थानीय सरकार ने काम किया है. हमें आशा ही नहीं, पूरा विश्वास है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी सबसे बड़ी पार्टी उभर करके लोकसभा इलेक्शन और विधानसभा इलेक्शन दोनों में आएगी. अनुच्छेद 370 हटने का कितना आपको फायदा मिलेगा? इस चुनाव में? राम मंदिर का कितना फायदा मिलने वाला है? क्योंकि जब हम बात करते हैं अपोजिशन से, वो कहते हैं भ्रष्टाचार, बेरोजगारी सबसे बड़े मुद्दे वो हैं जिस पे भारतीय जनता पार्टी बात नहीं करती।
देखिए, जन समर्थन की जहां तक मैं बात कहूं, जन समर्थन भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में है। हमेशा से यहाँ की अपोजिशन अलग अलग विषयों को लेकर के लोगों को गुमराह करती है, तो ये तो लोग बताएंगे, क्योंकि
people are going to decide. That's what actually he's saying, that they are trying to mislead. That's what actually the opposition will be doing. But yes, definitely they will be eyeing at the Anantnag constituency seat because they feel this is the high time that at least they should have the footprint, because of overall they want that they should at least allow the lotus this time bloom in Kashmir Valley. That is what they will be focusing on. But if we talk about their preparation and everything, they are quite enthusiastic that this time they are really going to make a difference so far the election process is concerned, because everybody had been waiting for this particular day, finally when the date will be announced for the biggest festival democratic process.
Yes, Pradeep, see, Omar Abdullah already has taken to the social media. I'm told Farooq Abdullah ji is joining us on the phone line right now. Farooq ji, good evening, and thank you, sir, for speaking to us here on Times Now. For the moment, no simultaneous polls have been announced in Jammu and Kashmir. I've seen this tweet that has come in from Omar Abdullah ji. But should you be patient? I mean, should you be patient? Because right now it's a Lok Sabha poll, so you believe that it was important to have the simultaneous polls, sir? Okay, I think we've just lost that phone line. But Omar Abdullah has said, so much for one nation, one election. The Election Commission, he says, is unable to conduct assembly polls in Jammu and Kashmir with the general election, even when they acknowledge that elections are due right now.